The Seahawks have won the toss and will receive. That's Justin Forsett back deep. Neil Rackers will kick off for Arizona. Loud crowd here in Glendale. The game underway. A short kick returned by Forsett outside the 10-yard line, and he gets a good return as flags fly from upfield as Forsett gets to the 30-yard line. Walt Coleman is the referee today as Matt Hasselbeck coming onto the field for the first series.
Holding, 52, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's on D.D. Lewis. And the ball will come back to about the 15. So Matt Hasselbeck, who set a team record with 39 completions last week, and as Michelle mentioned, feeling a lot better, maybe the best since he's returned. Here are the offensive starters for Seattle. Locklear returns. Chris Spencer, the center, has a right thumb injury, and that could prove troublesome. Hand off to Julius Jones to start the game, and Jones with a neat run gets it beyond the 20-yard line.
You know, Seattle's 30th in the league in running the football. So today, obviously, they want to make sure Matt Hasselbeck is taken care of, and you have to wonder, when will the Seattle running game kick in?
Last week, they relied on the pass, and it worked, and they may have to do the same this time. 2nd and 4, play action, pressure, and Hasselbeck wisely throws it away. Good pressure by Darnell Dockett. The defense for the Arizona Cardinals, and the best of their game, is their number 3 against the run, against a team that hasn't run well.
But today, linebackers Gerald Hayes and Chike O'Keefe are out. Bertrand Berry and Ali Highsmith are the next men up.
And Adrian Wilson looking for a comeback game. So it's 3rd and 4. Forsett is the 3rd down back, and Deion Branch to the top. 3 wide receivers. Burleson to the bottom of your picture. And the play stops, and you can see Hasselbeck wanted the snap fast. He saw the clock running down.
Delay of the game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
See him calling for it, clapping his hands. Dick, you alluded to Chris Spencer, the starting center with a broken thumb. He's snapping with his opposite hand today. Not the same confidence in snapping the ball. May have contributed to the delay in Hasselbeck getting the snap.
Well, the Seahawks have been good as far as penalties are concerned, but they put themselves in a hole here with 2 already against them. 3rd and 9. Hasselbeck nowhere to go. In trouble, and tries to get it over to Houshmandzadeh, and it's very close on the line, and they're going to call it a completed pass. Very close to being out of bounds.
This is what coaches talk to receivers about, staying alive throughout the entire process of a play. TJ Houshmandzadeh ran his route, didn't get the ball initially, came back and found some open space and presented a target for Matt Hasselbeck.
13-yard gain and a 1st down to the 29. And the toss dropped by Deion Branch, who was set to run before he had possession of the ball, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Well, the Seahawks were roundly beaten 27-3, in which they were trailed 14-0 to the Cardinals before Matt Hasselbeck even touched the ball. Ken Wisenhunt said the most complete effort we've had on both sides of the ball in that one. 2nd down and 10, and they give it to Julius Jones. And Jones, with some hard running, gets it out to the 33. 3rd down and 6. Hasselbeck's pass is caught by Dion Butler, the rookie from Penn State, and another 1st down. So the Seahawks, after the penalty, started from the 15, and they have a first down now on their own 44.
This is a really well-run pattern by a rookie. Because watch Deion Butler facing press coverage from the physical. McFadden ends up getting upfield, making sure he got McFadden's hips turned away and coming back and getting the football.
Play action. Down the middle, incomplete. Houshmandzadeh claiming he was held. So it'll be second down and 10, and Houshmandzadeh with a few extra waves and jeers for the official.
This was an incomplete pass, and they're outside of the 5-yard bump zone, and right there, he gets a little bump from Ali Highsmith. I don't think that's enough to call, but TJ Houshmandzadeh wants the respect that a Pro Bowl receiver thinks he deserves.
Second down and 10. Already the Seahawks have looked better in this game than they did in the first meeting, converting third downs, but not this time. And going down is Hasselbeck, and it was Bertrand Berry. Clark Hagan's also in there, and the first sack of the game, and a loss of 7 yards.
Bill Davis, the defensive coordinator, shows 3 down linemen, but ends up bringing 5, and the pressure from up the middle allows him to get to him from outside. Excellent job coming off of the edge by the Cardinals.
So after going 0 for 11 in their first meeting, 2 for 2, but now they need 18 yards for the first down, and they're going to keep it on the ground to Justin Forsett. And a good run, but they won't get the first down. They get to midfield, and that's not bad on this first possession for Seattle to start at the 15, get to the 50.
Agreed, because now you're playing field position. You can tilt field position in the favor of your defense with a good punt here.
So it'll be fourth down, and John Ryan will kick. And Steve Reston will go back deep. Ryan punting well, 4th in the league. And there is Preston, who had a 36-yard punt return in the first meeting between these teams. Fair catch call for Preston at the 16. And so Kurt Warner and the Cardinals will come out with that vaunted offense for the first time this afternoon. He had 5 touchdowns last week, which matched a career high, coming back from 4 interceptions in the previous week against Carolina. And the offense, 8th best overall. And the offensive line intact for the 29th straight game. Probably give you the best clue on why they're so superb.
Yeah, and Tim Hightower and Beanie Wells, who you'll see later, led their best rushing day of the year against Chicago last week. Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden at receiver. No need to say any more.
And Anthony Beck making the start. Cardinals begin from the 17. And it's Tim Hightower with a good run, and Jordan Babineau slows him up. Gets 9 yards anyway on first down. Let's take a look at the Seattle defense. Really have been better than their scores indicate. 5th, 13th in the league coming into this game.
And this will be a huge test for the Seattle secondary, and they need their front four to create some early pressure on Kurt Warner.
Second down and 1. Steve Preston, the 3rd receiver, lined up to the top. And losing the ball, and the flip, and getting down is Hightower, and he won't get it there. He'll lose about 1.5 yards on that play. And a miscommunication between the center, Lyle Sendline, and Kurt Warner, who bobbled the ball.
Looked like Kurt Warner was checking off. He saw Deion Grant right there, the strong safety, drop into the box to become the 8th guy. Looked like he was checking to a different play. Then they had the miscommunication and mishandling of the football between quarterback and center.
So it's 3rd and 2. Four wide receivers for Warner, has some time, and the pass overthrown, intended for early Doucette. And that will bring up 4th down. Doucette caught 4 passes against the Bears, and so the Seahawks do a good job on the Cardinals' first possession.
It's a bunch formation. Watch Hightower trying to cross here. See how they took him away right there? Fitzgerald covered over the top, So he tries to get Bryant Johnson as a third option, crossing later. Ball was high, incomplete. Nice defensive stand for Seattle.
And Ben Graham will be punting. Nate Burleson standing back at his 30. Good kick by Graham. Burleson at the 16, runs into traffic. First quarter, no score. We want to welcome those who are watching the Vikings win their 8th win in 9 starts, beating the Lions 27-10. Dick Stockton, Charles Davis, and Nichelle Turner here in the first quarter, and a first down on the 27. Matt Hasselbeck, the quarterback, with a fade, trying to go to Burleson, covered well by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie downfield, and that brings up 2nd and 10. So the center on this team, we had mentioned that Chris Spencer suffered a right thumb injury, so now he is centering as a lefty and coming into play more, Charles, on the shotgun plays.
Exactly. Matt Hasselbeck will show his athleticism today if the ball's all over the place. We'll see how Chris Spencer does with pressure over his nose.
He did well in practice yesterday, but that was practice. And on the pressure, Hasselbeck has to get rid of it in a hurry, and the linebackers were coming in, led by Will Davis, the rookie. So it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Notice the early trend of Seattle respecting the run defense of the Arizona Cardinals and throwing the ball on the early downs. Last 2 series, 1st and 10, they threw the ball. Unsuccessful both times, making it 2nd and long both times. Last play, incomplete, 3rd and 10.
And Julius Jones had been walking toward the locker room. Justin Forsett is in the game now on 3rd and 10. Hasselbeck gets time, and the pass deflected, incomplete. Burleson was covered by Rodgers-Cromartie, so it's 3 and out this time on the 2nd possession for Seattle, and they'll have to kick.
Well covered by the Arizona defense, but there's a silver lining for Seattle. Darnell Dockett was right over the nose of Chris Spencer on a shotgun snap on 3rd and 10. He handled it just fine. That could pay dividends later.
So John Ryan will kick for the 2nd time. Steve Breaston is back. Good high kick, good hang time, and the fair catch by Breaston at about the 28-yard line. Let's underscore that last meeting, 27-3. It was a blowout as the Seahawks rushed for only 14 yards, the fewest in the franchise history. Of course, when you're down that early, they gave up the run, and they're apt to do it. Julius Jones has a chest injury, and it's questionable as to whether their top running back for Seattle will be back. Meanwhile, first down, Beanie Wells in the game, and thrown for a loss by Brandon Mebane. A loss of 4 yards on first down for Wells, the rookie.
Watch Mebane coming from right in here, be able to penetrate and get into the backfield and disrupt the play. They pull the guard, number 74, Reggie Wells, and right through the gap goes Mebane. No one able to pick him off, and he puts Wells down in the backfield.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 14, and there are 7 defensive backs and a 3-man rush for Seattle. That said, they're going to play it against Kurt Warner, and he gets it out quickly to Hightower, who manages to hold on to the ball before being dropped by David Hawthorne after a gain of 4. So interesting how they're playing Kurt Warner, putting most of the defense downfield. Yeah, they've said that they've studied some film and seen where Kurt Warner's had more trouble with guys dropping into coverage as opposed to rushing him. He gets rid of the football so well that they're used to that, you know, when you put a lot of pressure on him, ball's out of his hands quickly. They want to see how he does when he has to hold it just a little bit longer. 3rd down and 10. Again, they show a 3-man rush. Warner, though, gets time. Good protection. And the pass caught by Fitzgerald. And a flag is down at the 45-yard line. The completion would be enough for a first down with Trufant covering on the play. Walt Coleman will tell us.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, 23. Defense, that penalty's declined. Play results in a first down.
So Trufant, who was defending Fitzgerald, had the illegal contact call, declined, first down to the 40.
Now the issue with a 3-man rush is you can't get any pressure on the quarterback a lot of the time with only rushing 3, and look at how many guys they have to protect their quarterback. And if he has that much time, someone tends to shake themselves free. And when it's Larry Fitzgerald, you make sure he gets the football.
Well, let's pick your poison, because if you're going to send more, he'll hit the hot receiver. 3 tight ends in the game for the Cardinals, and the handoff to Hightower finds an opening up the middle and gets shy of the 50. About a yard short of the first down. Babineau making the tackle on Tim Hightower.
Watch how they block this play, because what they want to do is create this gap back here to let the running back bend it. And that's exactly what they do. See right there? That allows him to bend it back into the open field, and that opens things up for the running back, Tim Hightower. Levi Brown working on Patrick Koenig.
And that really opens up the passing game for Kurt Warner as well. There you see the play selection, rushes and passes, 2nd down and 1. Wells is now the running back. And the quick pass to Fitzgerald. He's not going to get there. Good aggressiveness. And leading the way is Josh Wilson with help from Kelly Jennings. And on the play, no gain with under 7 minutes remaining. 3rd down and short.
This is a hard pass to complete against what we call hard corners, meaning corners up within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Usually you want them backed off to allow your blockers to get out into open space and kick them out. When they're up tight like that, difficult to complete for a big gain.
And now Dan Kreider comes in as fullback to lead the way, perhaps for Hightower. And they've had problems on 3rd and 1, and they continue to do so as the Seahawks, led by Darryl Tapp, number 55, come on in. Tapp was the first to make contact, and they do a great job again on 3rd and short, bringing up 4th down. And anytime you can get this man off the field, you've done a good job.
Yes, you have. And watch Darryl Tapp. One of the characteristics of his play, quick off the football. But they say that about him being a pass rusher. This time he plays the run as proficiently as he plays the pass and helps stack up the play for the Seahawks.
So Ben Graham will be kicking his first one. Brilliant, 59 yards. Burleson is back for the Seahawks. And a directional kick going to the far sideline. And they're going to let it bounce, and it stays in bounds, and the Cardinals will down it at the 1. So here is Julius Jones, who is out with a chest injury, and Justin Forsett, who has carried the ball just 20 times coming into this game. They're going to try to run it, and Forsett manages to get about 3 yards. Dansby is there to make the stop.
How about this with the punt that just occurred? Look at this. After he hit it, where's the body language? Okay, what's going on? Ben Graham hated it at first. Loved the result.
So the Aussie with another great kick. Meanwhile, 2nd down and 7. Here comes a blitz from the secondary, and the pass out to Justin Griffith, the fullback, and just barely got away from the oncoming Antrell Roll was Matt Hasselbeck.
What a great block by Justin Forsett. Watch number 20 for Seattle. Left of your screen. If he doesn't pick off Antrell Roll right there, could very well have been a safety or the ball knocked free. Nice job in pass protection by the tailback.
They get 4 yards out of this. So a big 3rd and 3, and big only because Seattle is on their own 8. Here comes the pressure. Hasselbeck pumps once, sidearms it to no avail, trying to get it to Houshmandzadeh. John Ryan will kick from toward the back of his end zone. Steve Breston looking for a return here. Makes the grab and can't help himself from stepping out of bounds. No score in the first quarter. Julius Jones comes back to the field in the first quarter, and neither team has run a play in the other team's territory. That could end shortly.
That could end very quickly. Arizona in a good spot now to open up their offense.
From the 46, throwing on first down is Kurt Warner, and going deep to Fitzgerald, who's covered, and a flag goes down. Josh Wilson arguing his point, and it looks like the Seahawks will be called for pass interference, and the Cardinals will have 1st and goal inside the 10.
Pass interference, 26. Defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
See Josh Wilson riding with Larry Fitzgerald downfield before the ball gets there. He's got his hands on him and ends up knocking Fitzgerald over. An easy call for the official. And that field position, Dick, too irresistible for Ken Whisenhunt to pass up on first down, taking a shot downfield.
So a 46-yard penalty, and in talking with Josh Wilson yesterday, he said, look, when the ball's in the air, both of you are wide receivers. But he was not that in that instance. So it's first and goal. Beanie Wells, the tailback. Handoff is to Wells. And Wells has showed very impressive running and pass protecting, doing everything right as a rookie as he drives inside the 5-yard line, picking up 4.
Had a nice chance to talk with Beanie Wells before the ball game on the field. This is a young man who's reshaped his whole body since his senior year in college, and he looked great then, but now almost an Adonis. I said, how'd you do it? He said, diet, strength coach John Lott, and he introduced me to this hill, Camelback Mountain, and I'm visiting it way too often to get in shape.
He ran for 72 against the Bears. Play action, and Warner trying to find a target, getting a rush, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Marcus Trufant in the end zone, and he might have gone out of the end zone, coming back in, cannot be the first player to touch the ball, and the hat thrown by the official indicates that.
We have the defender going out of bounds, but coming back inbounds and reestablishing. So we have an interception, and first down, Seattle.
So what he's saying is, see the defender here. He's out of the end zone. Now he comes back in. He's already got feet down before he catches the football. That's what the officials are saying, is that he came back in and reestablished. Now he's back in the field of play and catches the ball. Take a look at the end zone. Marcus Trufant is out of the end zone still at this point. All right? The hat has been thrown to show that he's out of the end zone. His feet are still there. Now watch as he comes back into play. Foot still out of bounds, catches the football, then his feet come down. That's what the Cardinals are challenging right now. They're saying he did not reestablish. So you see right there, he's catching it and his feet are still in the air coming down. I think that the Cardinals will end up winning this challenge, that he did not reestablish himself in the field of play before he made the interception.
It'll either be a second and goal from the 4 or a touchback, and Seattle taking it out from the 20.
See, as he's making the catch, still in the air from coming out of the end zone, out of the back line into the end zone again.
As challenges go, this is major.
After reviewing the play, the defender did not reestablish with 2 feet. He only got 1 foot back in bounds. It is an incomplete pass. It'll be third down and goal from the 4-yard line. Arizona is not charged a timeout.
And now Jim Morris saying what? And now the side judge will explain what happened.
And he's not going to be happy, obviously, but I believe the officials got it right. Jim Mora thought that he is going to have the football, had a turnover. Ken Whisenhunt able to run offense again.
So it'll be third down. It'll be third down and goal from the 4, and the Cardinals second to Cincinnati coming into this weekend in red zone offense. Early Doucette is in, one of 4 wide receivers lined up for Kurt Warner.
And there's Larry Fitzgerald at the top.
And Anquan Bolden going in motion to the right. Fake the handoff. Here's the pass to Bolden. And he tries to reach in, and no touchdown, didn't make it. And he is down by contact within the 1-yard line. Tried to reach over and get the ball over the plane, could not. Babineau, the savior here.
Almost gets in, but is so close. Ken Whisenhunt, I believe, will go for it here. Trying to establish early momentum and pound in a touchdown.
So they're going for it on 4th down and less than a yard. And not making it is Tim Hightower, knocked back by an inspired Seahawk defense, who take over on downs. And it was Leroy Hill, who just returned to action a couple of weeks ago with the key play.
Great job by the defensive front, not allowing the line of scrimmage to be reestablished.
So here comes Seattle. The Seahawks withstanding 1st and goal after the 46-yard pass interference penalty.
Leroy Hill with the big tackle.
1st down from the 1. Justin Forsett, the running back. Hasselbeck going up top on 1st down, and it's caught by Houshmandzadeh. And Houshmandzadeh remains in the field, and a big play into Cardinal territory. Flag is thrown on the far side at the 45 as Brian McFadden step for step with Houshmandzadeh, and if it sticks, it'll be 53-yard catch.
Personal foul, face mask, 20, defense. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the play.
68 yards, including the penalty, Charles.
What a way to change field position. 1st and 10, deep in their own territory. Watch Brian McFadden. He doesn't even know where the football is. Looking back inside, never sees it come down, and it was perfectly thrown from Matt Hasselbeck, and then he compounds it with a face mask at the end of the play.
And that's what Hasselbeck could do this week that he couldn't previous weeks with the sore ribs and shoulder. That was his longest pass completion of the season. 1st down, and Hasselbeck will run out of bounds, being chased by Brian Robinson. And a gain out to the 26-yard line, so a good gain of 6 on 1st down.
Partner, let me follow up on a point you just made. Matt Hasselbeck, broken ribs, sore shoulder in recent weeks, not able to really drive the football downfield. What did he tell us in our meeting? I'm not 100%, but this is the best I've felt since the ribs were broken. We're seeing evidence of that today.
2nd down and 4, and here's Forsett, nowhere to run, and Forsett is stopped at the 26, losing a yard, as Ali Highsmith, playing again for Gerald Hayes, and Carlos Dansby make the play. What a struggle, and as you might expect, when the teams play the 2nd time in the same year, the same season, nothing like the first game, at least so far. 3rd down and 5. Against the 3-man rush, the quick out to Butler, and Butler close to the 1st down, and he may have it. 3rd round draft pick from Penn State, and it is a 1st down, and Butler was helped by a good spot on that one.
See Deon Butler coming inside, establishing the quick screen, and now allowing the linemen to get out and get involved. As number 74, Ray Willis, number 60, Max Unger, trying to create a lane for Deon Butler, who ducks his head and gets the 1st down.
Butler has caught now 6 passes on the year, 2 tight ends for the Seahawks. 1st down pass is caught by Deion Branch, and he may have been stopped short of the 1st down by both Dansby and Highsmith.
This is the 4th series, Dick, that the Seattle Seahawks have opened with a pass on 1st and 10. They are calling this game in reverse. You know, 1st and 10, normally a rundown. They're doing it the opposite way because of the scout run defense of the Cardinals and their offensive line being unsettled all year.
Greg Knapp dialing up the plays for Seattle, and here's Forsett. 1st down, he scores! Touchdown, Seahawks! And the 1st touchdown of the season for Justin Forsett, shocking this crowd with 20 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter.
See the shot of Jim Mora there. A lot of credit has to go on that drive to his offensive coordinator, Greg Knapp. Establishing the pass on 1st down led him to the run on 1st down that was the payoff.
Orlando Mare with the extra point. And the 1st touchdown of the year and of the career for Justin Forsett, who's playing in place of the shaken up Julius Jones. And it's 7-0 Seattle. They went 99 yards for the touchdown to take the lead.
That'll get you excited if you're the offensive coordinator. A bomb on 1st and 10 from your 1-yard line ultimately leads to a nice lead block by Griffith, the fullback, and Justin Forsett walks into the end zone.
And the big play, of course, with the 53-yard pass to Houshmandzadeh.
Look at that. Beautiful job up front. Everyone matched up in their zone blocking scheme. Everyone ends up getting a guy and a gap. Justin Forsett's never challenged.
And the Cardinal defense, which has played well this year, shaking their heads and wondering what's going on here. A 6-play, 99-yard scoring drive. And Hasselbeck, with his longest pass completion of the season, was perfect on the drive.
And this is from his own 1-yard line. And he gets to TJ Houshmandzadeh on a go route. Bryant McFadden never locates the football. And then a face mask at the end of the play tacks on an additional 15 yards.
So it'll be interesting to see how the Cardinals respond. And you pointed out at the beginning of our telecast how the Cardinals have kind of relaxed against lesser opponents after big wins. We'll see. LaRod Stephens-Howling back deep, and he'll down it in the end zone for a touchback and start from the 20. Cardinals from the 20. Breston and Bolden right in front of you. Fitzgerald in motion. And it's flipped out to Hightower. And Hightower is chased by Leroy Hill. And out of bounds after a gain of 3.
Seattle Seahawks believe that their defense is playing at its best level all year long. 5 interceptions last week against Detroit. They went into that game with only 3 for the year. Guys like David Hawthorne filling in for Lofa Tatupu are playing well, and they're getting injured guys back healthy and playing at a high level. Leroy Hill and Marcus Trufant.
Begin the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Charles Davis, Nichelle Turner. Seahawks lead it 7-0. 2nd and 6 for the Cardinals on their 24. Kurt Warner trying to get in rhythm. And he is put down by Lawyer Malloy, the 14-year veteran. Brings it out to the 27-yard line.
Marcus Trufant getting back into form. The Pro Bowler in 2007 missed the first 6 games with a back injury. And look at the coverage downfield, forcing Kurt Warner to hold the football. Nowhere to go with it. Ended up trying to run it.
3rd and 3. LaRod Stephens-Howling, the rookie from Pitt, in the backfield going out as a receiver. And Warner's pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for Doucette. Looked like he had a chance to make the catch. Covered by Babineau, and 4th down coming up.
When your quarterback's able to extend the play this long and a receiver finds himself finally uncovered, that's when you have to come up with.
So this game, nothing like the first meeting 4 weeks ago as Burleson goes back. Seahawks had 3 plays in the first quarter, 21 today, so you get the idea. And Ben Graham will be punting to Burleson. Beautiful punt. Burleson backpedals to his 10. Good return. And a hard hit out of bounds. And a flag goes down. That's not where the hit was, but further upfield at the 35-yard line. And also another one back at the 10. So those were 2 different plays. Burleson's return was 25 yards. While they're sorting it out, Hasselbeck with a few messages to his team, right?
Exactly. Always keep coaching them up so you're ready to go when you get the ball. But I think you nailed it, Dick, because the reason we're taking a little extra time to discuss it, I believe we have 2 different fouls. That's what they have to ascertain about how they're going to mark those off.
There are fouls on both teams. We have ineligible downfield on the kicking team prior to the kick, number 91. We have illegal block in the back, number 36 of the return team. Those penalties offset, and we will re-kick.
Offsetting penalties.
And so with the second kick, I think the advantage always goes to the receiving team on a second punt. When you've had guys give that kind of effort and burst downfield trying to make a tackle, and to have them come back out and have them to do it again. And this is a dangerous returner, Nate Burleson, who has an NFL record of 3 punt returns in his career of over 90 yards.
See how they put Burleson down. There was a solid hit there by Matt Ware. So now here is the kick once again. Line drive kick, pretty good, but not as good as the other one. And Burleson on the line drive, he can get free. But the Cardinals with great coverage. Special teams have been outstanding for Arizona. And welcome back to Glendale, Arizona, where the Seattle Seahawks lead 7-0. And they have the ball 1st and 10 on their 26. Justin Forsett is the back going out for the pass. He's got it there, and he is ridden out of bounds.
That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff.
By Will Davis after a gain of 5.
Look at the pressure Bill Davis brought for the Cardinals right up the middle, and Matt Hasselbeck stays right in there and delivers to Justin Forsett.
And the no huddle, which was in the plan for the Seahawks today. 2nd and 5, pressure from the corners. Pass is caught by Houshmandzadeh. Gets away from Antoine Rowe, but not totally away from Adrian Wilson. He'll have the first down, however, out to the 38, picking up 8 yards.
And Matt Hasselbeck loves the no-huddle, up-tempo offense. Everything in his hands. He makes the calls, the adjustments, the checks. He loves this style of play.
There's Forsett to the bottom of your picture, the back as a receiver. Hasselbeck will be taken down shy of the 40-yard line by Gabe Watson, and will pick up a yard in the process. Seahawks trying to make something of this starting field position. They began at the 26. Their previous 2 drives started at the 1. Could get a touchdown from the 1. 2nd and 9. Hand off to Forsett. Bounces off a defender, but didn't get much there, and a 3-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and long. Darnell Dockett making the tackle for the Cardinals. Again, no huddle. 3rd and 6. Pressure on Hasselbeck. And had a run for it, but Clark Hagan's nailed him, and 4th down coming up. 2nd sack of the game. There'll be a loss of 2.
And the best pressure for the Cardinals all game long has been right up the middle in the face of Matt Hasselbeck. Clark Hagan's, and then right over the top, Darnell Dockett. A Pro Bowl player playing at that level this season.
John Ryan will punt. Steve Breston, very dangerous, number 15 back. Good kick by Ryan. Breston gets hit at the 10. And Obamanu was right there. And welcome back. The Cardinals are used to quick starts, impressive drives. Last week, 4 touchdowns on their first 4 possessions. Today, 3 punts and a turnover on downs. And they start from the 10 with Beanie Wells, the tailback. Warner's pass, unable to hold on. It's Fitzgerald, incomplete. So this is unlike the Kurt Warner that the Cardinals have seen in their wins, as he is off to a rocky start, and the Seahawks doing something with their defensive alignment, especially with the coverage. 5 for 8 for only 22 yards. That's un-Warner-like.
It is, but I think that you have to give the Seattle defense a ton of credit, because they're just quicker today, quicker to the football and making plays when the ball gets to the receivers.
Second down and 10. Here's Beanie Wells. And right there, you just said it, and there was Jordan Babineau, who was quick to stop Bolden from getting into the end zone. And he's quick there to bring down Wells for no gain when he could have broken something.
This defense so far today is playing with a lot of confidence. Jordan Babineau diagnoses it, and from his safety position, able to play the game forward. Never had to retreat, and ends up making the play against Beanie Wells.
You know, it's only 7-0, but talking to Jim Mora, he was reserved, but I think he told his team this is a game they can win. He said, I think we can stay in it with these guys. I think he knew better than that. On third down and 10 with time, pass caught by Fitzgerald and stopped about 4 yards shy of the first down by David Hawthorne. And Hawthorne has come on big at middle linebacker for the Seahawks lately.
And one of the best attributes of Larry Fitzgerald's game is the yards after catch. On that one, 0, because of the great tackling by the Seattle Seahawks.
So Nate Burleson, you pointed this out before, 3 punts of 90 or more yards for a touchdown. The only player in history to achieve that. Ben Graham kicking to Burleson, and another fine punt from the 20. Burleson to the 40. And he gets, look at this, Nate Burleson got 5 more yards. Julius Jones with the chest injury hopes to get back. It looks a little iffy at this point, so Justin Forsett has been the running back. First down at the 46 of the Seahawks. Play action. Completion to Deon Butler, and Butler gets good yardage on first down into Cardinal territory, getting 9 yards.
I like what Greg Knapp did, though. He ran Deon Butler out as we look at the Seahawks leaders during the ballgame, but they ran Deon Butler, the wide receiver, out. He's their speed guy. Everyone knows that. Instead of him going deep, though, ran a stop route, completed the pass.
And Seneca Wallace, the backup quarterback, is wide to the top of your screen on second down and 1, and they go to Seneca Wallace. He'll get the first down and taken out of bounds as well at the 40-yard line. So a 5-yard gain and another first down.
And that's Seneca's second catch on the year. Had a catch against the Rams in the season opener for a 24-yard gain. The expansion of the Seneca Wallace package seen throughout the weeks this year.
And he was the backup quarterback for a couple of games when Hasselbeck was out with the rib. First down. And going deep this time to Houshmandzadeh. And not on target as Adrian Wilson was defending downfield. Houshmandzadeh already catching a 53-yard pass play, which set up the only touchdown.
And they like Houshmandzadeh running the deep route against the safety, Adrian Wilson, known much more for his run defense than his pass defense. They like that one-on-one matchup. The Seahawks continuing to call this game in reverse. First down passes.
Hasselbeck is 10 for 18 for 123 yards. Hands off to Forsett. Slices off right tackle and trying to get the first down. Let's see where they spot it. Maybe a little shy. And it was Brian McFadden who did a good job running him down. We'll give him 9 yards on the play. It'll be third down and short with under 9 minutes to go in the half.
The Seahawks thus far not running the ball often, but getting quality runs as TJ Houshmandzadeh trying to help out, stalking Brian McFadden. Justin Forsett on second down gets 9.
Madden did a good job with Houshmandzadeh trying to block him to play cat and mouse. Third and 1. Hasselbeck. Wide open is John Carlson for the touchdown. And the Seahawks lead 13-0.
Have them totally off balance because the assignment for Adrian Wilson and Brian McFadden got confused. Wilson thought he had the outside receiver and ran where McFadden was. Carlson ran unencumbered to the end zone.
Orlando Mare makes it a 14-0 game. And there is the Seahawks scoring drive after terrific field possession. Carlson on the 31-yard TD catch. Seahawks already have gained 200 yards in the game. That's 72 yards more than they gained in the entire first matchup between these teams.
Greg Knapp, the offensive coordinator, meeting over there as Matt Hasselbeck also next to him, going over what they plan to do the rest of the ball game, liking what they've done so far.
And Hasselbeck has been a hot quarterback. And the kickoff going to LaRod. Stevens howling, scoops it up at about the 10. And a good return as Laurie makes the tackle on special teams.
This type of coverage, the corner is going to have the wide guy, but here's the strong safety, Adrian Wilson. Watch what he does when John Carlson releases. He actually crosses his face, and then Carlson gets upfield. See right there? Now Carlson's upfield on him, but Wilson appears to think that he still has outside leverage. Instead, Carlson is the one with the touchdown, and Hasselbeck gets to share a nice moment on the sidelines.
But anytime you play the Cardinals, and there's the defense puzzled right now. And Adrian Wilson with a few words on the sidelines, a little emotional. Double tight end, and the pass to Anquan Bolden. And Bolden gets 9 yards on first down with Marcus Trufant defending. And if you're Seattle, despite the 14-0 lead, you got to wonder when the other shoe is going to drop with this Cardinals offense.
That's a great point. There can't be any relaxation at all on that sideline if you're talking about Seattle. Gus Bradley, their defensive coordinator, you know he's told his team exactly that. This team is built to explode the Arizona Cardinals.
2nd down and 1 from the 44. Beanie Wells outside has the first down. Flag is down as well, and Wells is out of bounds at the 48. And shaken up is a Seahawk.
Holding, 69, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So Mike Gandy, who is a question mark with a strained abdomen, penalty is on him, and Josh Wilson is shaken up. So the 9-yard gain by Wells will be called back.
So here's Wilson going down to make the tackle on Beanie Wells and absorbing the hit. Right in front of you, there's Gandy, 69. See the hand wrapped in there on Lawrence Jackson? Got his hands inside, holding the jersey right in front of the official.
So Josh Wilson, who started last week and again this week, Ken Lucas, who had been the starter, suffered a stinger a couple of weeks ago against Dallas. But Wilson, who came up with a huge game, a 61-yard interception and touchdown last week in the win over Detroit, still down. And good news as Wilson trots off on his own power and is replaced in the lineup by Kelly Jennings. 2nd down and 8. Warner, and the pass caught by Bolden, first down. And good defense by the linebacker Aaron Curry to stay with the outstanding Bolden on the play. But it's a first down for the Cardinals to the 46. Aaron Curry, the rookie from Wake Forest, the 4th overall pick, having a big first year. Preston coming in motion. Beanie Wells. And several Seahawks holding on, Mebane and Babineau in particular. And 3 yards for Beanie Wells, who was the 31st overall pick out of Ohio State. You talked about how he has remade his body, and look how he has responded in the last 4 games.
This is what they counted on when they selected him in the 1st round, to give them the 2nd runner to go with the rookie Tim Hightower last year. Now in his 2nd season, a 1-2 punch in the backfield. And
those were the numbers coming into this game. He's carried 5 times for 6 yards. 2nd and 6. Warner and Fitzgerald. Flag goes down, and it was Marcus Trufant tripped up. Very often it's incidental contact, legs get crossed, but not in this case.
23, defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul, first down.
Good call.
It was a good call, and that's the 2nd penalty against Marcus Trufant today in coverage. Remember his first game back against Dallas after being on the PUP list all season long. He had 3 pass interference penalties.
And where would the Arizona offense be without those penalties? And Jim Mora complaining
What the heck?
vehemently. 3 penalties for 61 yards against the Seahawks. And a first down at the 31 of Seattle. Here's Beanie Wells running into a traffic. Gets inside the 30-yard line where Darryl Tapp makes the play. And a 3-yard gain as we wind to 6 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
Dick, after the last touchdown that Seattle scored, it seemed like the temperature was really rising on the Arizona bench. You know, the defense trying to get it together. Guys looked a little bit unsettled. This is a settling drive that their offense is giving them right now.
Josh Wilson has an injury to his head, questionable as to whether he'll be back. It's second down and 7. And here is Warner, the pocket collapsing, but not before he finds Steve Preston alone in the end zone for the touchdown. TD pass, and that will bring the Cardinals and their fans quickly back into this game. Neil Rackers looking to cut the Seahawks lead in half. And with 5.5 minutes to go in the half, it's now 14-7.
Watch Preston at the top of your screen, able to runs the fake to the outside, cuts back inside all alone, and Kurt Warner's offensive line gave him the right time, allowed him to step up clean into the pocket and deliver to pull the Cardinals to within 7.
And when you're playing a team with an offense which really has no visible weakness, they have a terrific line, 2 good running backs, outstanding receivers, and a tremendous quarterback in Kurt Warner. You know, sooner or later against a team like this, they're going to come back and strike. The question is, how do the Seahawks respond after that 6-play, 65-yard touchdown drive by the Cardinals?
And it came at a time where the crowd was getting restless. You sensed the Arizona defense wondering, hey, what's going on here? Seattle hitting us from all angles. And the offense gave them a reason to settle down and get some confidence back.
Pass interference again, set it up, Charles.
And this is the one Jim Mora was protesting, but I think what they're calling is the forearm up top. It wasn't the legs just getting tangled inadvertently. It's a forearm to help knock him over.
The legs were never there, you're right.
And that's where the call came.
So Justin Forsett back deep. And Neil Rackers kicking off. And this is going over to Lewis Rankin, who will run it out from 4 yards in the end zone. Rankin had a 41-yard return last week. He's got a lot of speed. Expected to see more than the usual action in this game. And it'll be a first down at the 19 as you see Wilson being tended to on the sideline. Deion Grant talking to his defensive back mates. The big play, they've done a good job against it coming into this game. And shaken up is Craig Terrell, the defensive lineman.
The trouble you run into when you play against Arizona is that with their offense that's so explosive, so we see the drive there, 6 plays, 65 yards, but they're so explosive that they keep the pressure on you no matter what. So Seattle's up 14, feeling good about themselves. All of a sudden, you get the ball again, and now there's pressure again to take the ball down and score because of how Arizona plays.
So Terrell comes off the field. Seahawks have been a team riddled by injury, but the healthiest they've been has been the last couple of weeks. It's like Kurt Warner was determined to get something going, doesn't it? First down from the 19. Down he goes. didn't have a chance to get anything going. Darnell Dockett leading the way, and the loss of 6 yards, and the third time the Cardinal defense has gotten to Matt Hasselbeck in this half.
And Bill Davis, the defensive coordinator, has noticed that Seattle likes to throw on first down. He shows 3 down linemen first. Now watch, here comes everyone else. He said, okay, you want to throw on first down? I'm bringing the pressure.
2nd and 16. They'll run it with Forsett. And Justin Forsett will get the first down and does a great job of protecting the football against the strip. And a gain of 24 yards out to the 37-yard line. Big gain for the Seahawks.
Matt Hasselbeck on the draw, carrying out his play fake as a quarterback, and Justin Forsett, patience through the hole and then acceleration.
Forsett scored the first touchdown for the Seahawks in the first quarter. And a swing pass out to Rankin. Rankin getting around a defender, and a little forearm there against Roll, and a first down. So the flash of speed by Rankin giving him a chance today.
Didn't you just say they were looking for opportunities to get him on the field? I believe you did.
Yeah.
And this is why. They want to get him in space and let him use his speed. Nice job freezing Ali Highsmith, forcing him to miss the tackle, and then getting upfield.
14 yards, and Charles, you knew it too. In Cardinal territory, and here is Forsett. Good run by Forsett. Short gain of 3. Dansby making the tackle. But it looks like the Seahawks coming back offensively. At this point, they intend to go punch for punch with this Cardinal team.
They're answering the challenge. Because of the pressure the Arizona offense puts on teams, the other team's offense has to answer. That's what Seattle's trying to do.
2nd down and 8. Here's Houshmandzadeh. And Houshmandzadeh may have the first down inside the Cardinal 40. Roll grabbed his legs, but the extra stretch by Houshmandzadeh, as the Seattle fans indicate, gives Seattle a first down.
I'm not sure if that was a design call or just Matt Hasselbeck looked up, saw them what they call uncovered, enough space, and just gave up and gave him the football. And take a look. No one there, right? Just give him the football. See what he can get out of it. Antrell Roll getting there a little late.
First down at the 39. Under 3 minutes to go in the half. Forsett. And Forsett holding on with both hands as Hagan's trying to grab it away, and a gain of 8 yards. And 2:45 to go. Remember, the center Chris Spencer on the shotguns has to center with his left hand with the bruised right thumb. But I have to tell you, Forsett has really done a great job. 73 yards in the half without Julius Jones in there.
There he is out here wide now, showing his versatility.
2nd and 2. And going deep. Almost intercepted. And it was Deon Butler, covered by Antrell Roll, who was in better position to make the catch than Butler.
Those were 2 good plays here. Watch Antrell Roll, number 21, a former corner, move to free safety, but an even better play by the wide receiver Deon Butler, who became the defensive back and broke it up.
Now Seneca Wallace has come into the game. On 3rd down and 2, he is in the slot to the left, and now coming in motion.
And that's Hasselbeck up top.
Yeah, this is the Wildcat. And the fake handoff, and Wallace with a fake throw, tosses, caught, and it's a first down inside the 20, close to the 15 to Houshmandzadeh. And Hasselbeck, who was lined up to the left, I don't think we were going to block much out there. Do you with the rib?
Not a good idea, but I'm getting ready to call Greg Knapp Houdini here. How about the smoke and mirrors? Wallace lines up out wide. He comes back inside to become the quarterback. Hasselbeck now moves out wide. Here comes Wallace back into quarterback. Hasselbeck out wide as the receiver. First down, Seattle.
16-yard play. And on first down, 2-minute warning has come up. First down with 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and here's Justin Forsett. diving to about the 7-yard line, picking up 4 yards. Forsett already has established a career mark for carries. That was his 10th of the game, and it's already in the first half. So what a job he has done. He has averaged more than 7 yards per carry and 77 yards gained in the game, plus a touchdown. Lined up to the top as a receiver on 2nd and 7. 3 timeouts left for both teams. Here's Hasselbeck with the fade, going for Deion Branch, incomplete.
Justin Forsett is making quite the case to be more than a 3rd down back for Seattle.
Drafted in the 7th round last year out of the University of California. Been used, as you see, on kickoff returns. And this is the 11th play of the drive for the Seahawks. 3rd and 7. And they go to Forsett. And can't get away, and the Cardinals clamp down at the 15, led by Bertrand Berry. And a timeout is called with 1:13 to go. There was a loss of a couple on the play, and the Cardinals call a timeout because they want to get another chance offensively, and a field goal attempt coming up for Seattle.
And that play was blown up by Darnell Dockett, the big defensive end, defensive tackle. He didn't get credit for the tackle, but he forced the play.
He has had a big game, and he's been in the Seattle backfield a good part of the game, and that is exactly what the Cardinals were hoping for from him. Don't forget, the Cardinals with 3 blocked field goals leading the NFL. Calais Campbell has 2 of them. This will be a 32-yard attempt by Murray, who was perfect last week against the Lions. And this kick is perfect. And the Seahawks now lead it 17-7 on Orlando Maray's 32-yard field goal. But the Cardinals have 1 minute and 9 seconds in all 3, or I should say 2 timeouts remaining.
And a lot of credit has to go to Justin Forsett, Matt Hasselbeck, and Brett Youngfitz. But how about this play as being the key play in the drive? Why? Because this is a sure interception for Antrell Roll, number 21. But Deion Butler, the rookie, breaks it up. If he doesn't make that play, there are no points for the Seattle Seahawks.
LaRod Stevens howling. Back deep. Orlando Murray will kick it off for the Seahawks, who are up by 10 points. And out of the end zone it goes, and they'll start from the 20. Josh Wilson back in the game at cornerback for the Seahawks, who will use 7 defensive backs. First down from the 20. Warner with time, good protection. No one to go to, and finally it's Fitzgerald who breaks away from Babineau and gets out of bounds. Deion Grant, Jordan Babineau had Fitzgerald after maybe no gain, and he got away for a 26-yard pickup to the 45.
Yards after the catch is what you really worry about with Larry Fitzgerald. He breaks the tackle by Babineau, picks up additional big yardage, and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Huge gain for the Cardinals with 58 seconds and 2 timeouts left. Fitzgerald, one of 3 wide receivers to the left. Warner going to a wide open Steve Preston. Driven out of bounds by Lawyer Malloy at the 27. So 28 yards. Boy, they pick them up in a hurry, don't they?
They do, and the presence of Larry Fitzgerald opens things up for everyone else. Fitzgerald was running a shallow cross underneath, and that's where I think Babineau bit. He saw number 11 come into a sight line, and that allowed Breston to come in behind him before Malloy can knock him out of bounds.
Already in field goal range are the Cardinals. They want more, obviously. First down from the 27. Bolden. And out of bounds to stop the clock with 45 seconds to go. And they get inside the 15. 14-yard gain on that play.
What Ken Wisenhunt loves to do is get his receivers downfield. This is Bolden here. Watch, he's going to get guys downfield, and he just runs him out here behind them, lets them clear, and then he's open, and then it's a one-on-one play for the receiver.
67 yards in 3 plays for the Cardinals. They have a first down on the 14. Warner's pass caught by Doucette, and he's tackled at the 7 by Josh Wilson with 39 seconds left, and the Cardinals call a timeout. That's their second. They have 1 left. So what does Jim Mora's defense do here? It'll be second down and short.
Well, they came into the game with the idea of rushing 3 and dropping 8 against Kurt Warner. They came into the game with the idea of heating him up at times. They want to show him different looks, and they have to come up with something a little bit different now because Kurt Warner's locked into rhythm in this drive. I would think you bring a little bit of pressure at him now just to get the ball out of his hands and hope that your coverage is there.
Now the Seahawks, who have had 7 defensive backs lined up, will have 6 on this 2nd and 2. Warner dumps it off, and the extra effort by Hightower will give him the first down. Hightower was stopped shy of the first down, but his extra push, and the clock continues to run. With 20 seconds, they're going to obviously clock it and set up a touchdown pass or attempt.
See, 2nd and short here inside the 5. Not a run play here at all for the Cardinals. Kurt Warner with the ball in his hands and playing his guys.
Second down, and it is short. 2nd and goal from the 3. Bolden and Fitzgerald line up to the right. Warner has enough time. Throws, touchdown, Preston, his 2nd of the game. And a flag is down, however, back near the line of scrimmage.
Holding, 69, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
And that one really hurts. That's the 2nd holding call against the shaken up left tackle Mike Gandy, and that takes a touchdown off the boards for Arizona. At least temporarily.
Warner buying time, and there's the hold right there where he had a hand outside the framework of, I believe, Darryl Tapp.
So now it's 2nd down and goal from the 13. Cardinals still have 1 timeout remaining.
And they motion Fitzgerald out of the backfield into the slot.
And here's Warner. Completes to Hightower and knocked out of bounds at the 9. He is 6 for 6 passing in this drive, and it'll be with 4 seconds to go. 3rd down coming up, and Neil Rackers is coming up with 4 seconds to go, and the Seahawks couldn't ask for anything more. Now let's see if there's a fake, then to have the field goal.
I would play for the fake to make sure you don't give up anything bigger than a field goal.
And Neil Rackers, who was 11 of 12, makes good as time runs out. The season is on the line really for the Seahawks, and they play that way thus far. Cardinals will get the ball first as we start the 2nd half. LaRod Stevens howling to return it from 5 yards in the end zone. Will run it out. And gets as far as the 17, where Will Herring smacks him down, and here comes Kurt Warner, who has completed 15 of 20 for 156 yards and a touchdown. Breaston has 2 catches and a TD, and Fitzgerald and Bolden have both been held to 4 catches. But the key, man, not letting the Cardinals get a touchdown before the half for Seattle. From the 18-yard line, Tim Hightower is the setback. Warner to throw, and the pass is caught by Anquan Bolden, and a gain of 9 yards as we send it down to Nichelle Turner.
Hey guys, Coach Whisenhunt actually feels really good about where his offense left off at halftime. He told me that Kurt Warner was off early in the first half, but he seems to have found his rhythm. He also says the defense was a step off and they need to settle down. He did also point out when they didn't get in for the touchdown on that 4th and 1, he said that was inexcusable. Coach Moore, on the other hand, has to be happy with the way he's playing. Matt Hasselbeck said he feels good, and that's translating on the field. Back to you.
Sure is, Nichelle. Thank you. 2nd down and 1, and here is Hightower, 1st down, and gets to the 31-yard line where Leroy Hill makes the stop, a gain of 4 yards, and Lawrence Jackson slow getting up for Seattle.
Inexcusable not getting in on 4th and 1. A head coach who is a former tight end in this league who could block. That's why that's like an offensive lineman mentality. Russ Grimm, assistant head coach, offensive coordinator, they want to be able to run the football in that situation.
Well, they came from Pittsburgh, and they knew the kind of style, but when you have Warner and those great receivers, you have to go with your personnel. 1st down, Beanie Wells spinning off a defender, and Wells takes it out to the 36, where Aaron Curry makes the play after a good 5-yard gain. There is Russ Grimm, one of the Hogs with the Washington Redskins in their heyday, and came over with Ken Whisenhunt. Both Whisenhunt and Grimm had eyes on the Steeler head coaching job, which went to Mike Tomlin. And no one's complaining about what Tomlin's done in Pittsburgh, and they've made their mark, these guys, in Arizona.
Actually met in the Super Bowl last year. Both styles working in different places.
2nd down and 4. Warner completes the pass to Breaston. And a 1st down to the 45 of Seattle, 18 yards. And Warner is in rhythm here to start this 3rd quarter.
And when Steve Breaston is your number 3 wide receiver, you have to feel very good about your offense. This is a young man who has really developed in his short career. 9 catches as a rookie. Up that last year, the 77 catches. Terrific job, over 1,000 yards, and now he's one of the more dependable cogs in their offense.
3 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown for Breaston. From the 45, 1st down, looking for the pass, and a great catch made by Bolden off of his right shoulder. Josh Wilson was defending, did everything he could covering the inside, but Bolden makes a 15-yard catch.
What did Josh Wilson tell us in our meeting? This is a throw he would not mind seeing banned in the NFL. The back shoulder throw. He said they catch you on your leverage. Whichever way you go, they throw it either to the inside or the outside. Almost impossible to defend if you're in sync as quarterback and receiver.
Bolden coming back after missing last week with a sprained right ankle. Little disturbed that he was inactive, at least not told early enough. This pass is thrown, and it appears to be incomplete to Anquan Bolden. Bolden came back, and it was a miscommunication between head coach Ken Whisenhunt and Bolden when Whisenhunt decided at the last minute that he could use another week, not 100%, and they worked it out.
Actually, the equipment manager was so quick to carry out the inactives orders that he actually beat him to the punch, and Ken Whisenhunt went to tell Anquan Bolden and was about 2 minutes too late. The equipment had already been removed.
2nd down and 10. Pass caught by Stevens Howling. He was in motion to the right, and the Cardinals have another 1st down to the 15 A 14-yard gain, and they are picking up yardage in big chunks against the Seahawks on this opening drive.
And this is a rookie 7th-round pick who was the backup to LaShawn McCoy at Pitt. The rookie with Philadelphia is playing so well. And I had a chance to chat with him before the game. I said, how are you enjoying this NFL experience? He said, boy, it's a lot of games and a lot of practices, not like college.
I don't know if he's hit the wall yet, but it's about to come. First down. 2 tight ends. They run it with Hightower. Hightower inside the 10-yard line and knocked out of bounds by Hawthorne as Dan Kreider, the fullback, with a timely block there and an 8-yard pickup as the Cardinals threaten to take the lead.
Another former Steeler coming to do his job. What is his job? Lead blocker in I formation or 2-back sets. How well does he know that? 0 carries on the year.
So now it'll be 2nd and 2 from the 7. The quick pass to Fitzgerald, and he gets about to the 4 as Tapp and Curry were both there. And it is a first down, however. It'll be 1st and goal inside the 5, and some of the players have to be separated. And a flag is down back at the 19. Fitzgerald and Deion Grant and Beanie Wells.
Deion Grant trying to get at Beanie Wells, and Wells with the 2nd shot back.
After the play was over, personal foul, 26, offense, 15-yard penalty. It'll be first down.
Always the 2nd man, though, right?
Always the 2nd man, because the first shot did come from Deion Grant.
Yes.
I don't know if these guys saw Pacquiao last night with Cotto, but this is what ended up going down. There's Wells with a little shot, and at the end, Deion Grant says, hold it a second, rookie. We're not going to have that. And now we got a little push. That's fine, but there's the first shot from Grant, and then Wells with the right hand, a little quick one, and that's the one that got caught.
That's why Beanie Wells put on the extra poundage for moments like these.
That's why you train harder in the offseason.
So it'll be 1st and goal, and the ball back at the 19. Warner's pass incomplete, intended for Preston, and good coverage by Kelly Jennings in the end zone.
Normally you don't see Kurt Warner behind the receiver on this type of a throw. If he throws it in the right slot, I think this is a touchdown. A little bit behind Steve Breaston. Watch. The slot has to be to the front of the receiver. Instead, he turns him back into the coverage. See that? That's right in the front slot. Breaston's able to catch it and dive into the end zone.
He would have had the score, you're right, if it had been on the other side. 2nd and goal. Looking one way, and here is Beanie Wells. And Josh Wilson prevented Wells from perhaps getting into the end zone. He'll get 9 yards and down to the 10-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and goal.
That play is an example of where his better conditioning helps him. Watch Beanie Wells, his footwork, much better, quicker, through the gap. I think at 250 pounds where he was last year, he doesn't make that play.
So it's 3rd and a hair. 3rd and a hair. They need less than a yard for the first down. 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. And the handoff to Wells. And Wells is stopped. So it is 4th down. And Neil Rackers comes onto the field, and being helped up is Mebane.
And this is where Ken Wisenhunt's going to get a stubborn. Remember what he told Michelle? That it was inexcusable they didn't get it in the first half on 4th and 1. Now he's thinking about going for it here.
And we're back here, and it's 4th and 1. And Ken Wisenhunt, who had sent Neil Rackers on, now sent him off. And here are the Cardinals going for it on 4th and 1.
I would think play action here. They've been stacked up on their last couple of short yardage runs.
Two tight ends. Beanie Wells is the running back. Kreider to block. And here is Wells going outside to the 5. Walks in for the touchdown. Ten-yard touchdown run, and the second TD score of the season for Wells.
Look at Kreider, 35. The block of the point of contact with Deion Grant, 24, helps seal the edge. Hawthorne tries to get over the top, and Wells, 74, finishes him off. That allows Wells to Beanie Wells to walk into the end zone.
Boy, did he ever read that perfectly. Rackers with the extra point, and the Cardinals have taken their first lead of the game. Beanie Wells, who is part of a great 1-2 punch along with Tim Hightower, scoring his second touchdown of the season, 17-17. And the first 3 possessions were nondescript for the Cardinals, but they have scored 2 touchdowns and a field goal on their last 3. And the score is even as Rackers kicks off. That'll be Lewis Rankin. And they'll start for the 20-yard line. In week 6, 0 for 11 on third downs, that many yards. And today, Seattle 267 yards and 50% on third downs. But the one thing the Seahawks can't afford to do is have the same result as they had in week 6. They start from the 20 with Justin Forsett, the running back, and Hasselbeck goes down. Brian Robinson, the nose tackle. And that will be the 4th sack of the game. And Hasselbeck will lose 8 yards in the process.
And Bill Davis, the defensive coordinator, feels like he's starting to lock in a little bit with Greg Knapp. He knows that Greg has liked to throw the ball on first down throughout the game. He's bringing pressure on that down and distance.
Lewis Rankin is in there now, and they spread it out, and they hand off to Rankin. Second game after playing with Oakland a couple of times, but Calais Campbell comes in and makes the play. And a pickup of 2 yards, so it'll be third down and about 16 coming up.
Starting midway in the second quarter, the Arizona offense has given a big lift to the Arizona defense. They put the pressure on Seattle by scoring, giving now the defense an opportunity to help them out with big plays.
Six defensive backs, and they run the ball to Forsett. Forsett breaks away, and we stopped short by 4 yards for first down yardage thanks to Antrell Roll, the free safety, and the Seahawks will have to kick it away.
Not totally satisfying to the Cardinals defense because they gave up a few extra yards, but the end result exactly what they wanted. A 3 and out gets the ball back for their offense.
So the Cardinals defense and Bill Davis, he says when we get angry, we're playing well, and they look that way. John Ryan will be punting. Steve Breston to return. Another sky-high kick. Breston on the 25. Still on his feet, turns the other way, and gets out to the 41-yard line. Nick Reed missed him. Kurt Warner with a slow start, 6 for 10 for 29 yards, but red hot since. And he has his Cardinals at the 41-yard line in a 17-17 game. At one point, the Seahawks led 14-0. Tim Hightower gets a couple of yards, runs into Leroy Hill. 3-yard gain on first down. Seven defensive backs now for the Seahawks on 2nd and 7. And a 3-man rush up front.
4 wide receivers, that's Hightower in the slot.
Warner fires, and it is caught by Hightower. He'll be 2 yards short of the first down, however. Tell you what, the Cardinal offensive line doing a good job. Of course, they're sending 3 in there, and he had to check down, which you don't often see Warner do.
This is an offensive line that's not known as a bunch of manhandlers. You know, they're not just going to jump up and maul you. So what you want to do with them is be able to run the ball enough to keep the pressure off of them so you can't just send a bunch of people at Kurt Warner.
3rd down and 2. And the handoff to Beanie Wells. Breaks a tackle. Beanie Wells with a first down and a great run as a flag comes down from the backfield, defensive backfield. And it was Corey Redding who initially missed Wells. It would have been a loss. And the preliminary signal holding.
Holding, 81, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Anquan Bolden.
And it's hard to really get upset because Anquan Bolden is one of the better blocking wide receivers in the league. Watch him. Gets out, trying to do his job, gets his hands involved. Yeah, right there, he's got a pretty good hold of Leroy Hill.
And it was a good run he got by Redding, but you always wonder if it weren't for the hold, what would he have really gotten on the play?
Just getting away from Redding initially, that was a big-time move.
Yes, it was. 3rd down and 6. LaRod Stevens howling. Standing by Warner, going out as a receiver, and the pass is caught by Breston, and he may be shy of the first down. Hit immediately by Lawyer Malloy, and Breston, from the way it looks up here, did not get the first down, and he did not, and Ben Graham will come in to kick.
Watch Breston as he comes through on the shallow cross, and a great tackle by Lawyer Malloy. Comes right through Steve Breston. Throughout this game, the Seahawks defensive backs have tackled well after the catch.
No question, and a huge play on 3rd and 1 when the Cardinals are ready to get into Seahawk territory. So the score remains tied, and Graham is kicking to Nate Burleson. Fair catch inside the 10. And so once again, the Seahawks will have a long way to go. Jim Mora with encouragement for his players. Hang in there. That's the rookie. And there's Burleson, who, by the way, has no catches today. First down from the 7. Fake and overthrowing Houshmandzadeh, who takes a hit from Adrian Wilson. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
And that's Adrian Wilson's game. He's an enforcer. 2 deep coverage, ran the pump and go on the corner, and tried to fit it in the slot between the corner and the safety. And look at Adrian Wilson react on the play. Excellent job.
Extremely perturbed that he let Greg Olsen, tight end, catch 2 touchdown passes on him last week against the Bears. Handoff to Forsett. He'll lose. And it was Darnell Dockett, and a flag is down. Dockett having a big game up front for the Cardinals.
Offside, 92, defense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So Bertrand Berry starting in place of Chike Okefor, offsides.
I wondered why he was so quick off the ball. Now I know why. He was offsides. But Darnell Dockett, as you pointed out, continues to pile things up inside.
2nd down and 5. Cardinals have won 4 out of 5, trying to open up a 2-game lead in the NFC West. Fake one way, and they go to Forsett. And Dockett right in there along with Antrell Roll again, and another penalty flag thrown. And Dockett can't believe it. So we'll see if it's against Arizona.
Personal foul, face mask, 90, defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, 1st down.
So Alex Highsmith helped force it, and there's Dockett with the tackle, and that's where they say he got the face mask at the end of the play. Play spilled back inside by Roll, Hand on the mask right there. They're saying see where the hand is grabbing the mask, or the forearm over the top. That's where they called the face mask.
And the view from here wasn't, the official was right there, but it didn't look like it was a emphatic one. Only one kind of face mask calls, as Justin Forsett with a first down and tripped up. Antrell Roll prevented a further gain of 13 yards for Forsett, and Justin Griffith, the only fullback active today for the Seahawks, was able to spring Forsett, who's having a big day.
And how frustrated must the Cardinal defenders be? They had things going their way, but gave the ball up on gave yardage on 2 penalties, and Forsett takes advantage.
On first down, Lewis Rankin getting a call, and he gets the first down. And remember, this drive started at the 7-yard line, and the Seahawks now have driven into Cardinal territory to the 46.
Watch this side of the line and watch what they do, creating space. Nice job on the kick-out block. Gave Rankin the hole to run through. There's Unger 60, and John Owens, the tight end, 86, controlling the end of the line.
12-yard gain. And here's Rankin as a receiver. Rankin getting 9 yards on the play, and Highsmith missed the tackle. Brian Robinson ultimately makes it, and a gain of 9 yards as the Seahawks talk about in rhythm. That's what Hasselbeck is in there now. This is after the catch.
And when you're coming from inside out as a defender, you're supposed to pin the offensive player to the sideline, not let him fake you and get back inside. Rankin does that to Ali Highsmith, ends up picking up nice yardage.
So it's 2nd down and 1. Forsett back in the game. He has 100 yards today. Looking for more, and gets it. Meanwhile, the Seahawks with a first down. Half a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter. Pass batted down. Looked like Brian Robinson was in the middle of the pack. So 2nd down and 10 coming up with 23 seconds left in the 3rd.
And they picked up Brian Robinson at the nose tackle position to be a backup player, and now they can't get him out of the starting lineup. Broke into the league as a defensive end with the Bears. Ended up losing favor there, and has resurrected his career here in Arizona.
Timely deflection there, 2nd and 10. Now Rankin, the tailback. It's Rankin. And Adrian Wilson drags him down, but Rankin dragged Wilson into the first down, and that may be the last play of the 3rd quarter. So Rankin and Forsett getting the job done to the tune of 127 yards. It is a first down, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. And welcome back to Glendale, Arizona. Dick Stockton, Charles Davis, Nichelle Turner. We start the 4th quarter, and it may be the most important 15 minutes of the season for the Seattle Seahawks. Their season's on the line, tied at 17. Justin Forsett with a strong run up the middle on 1st and 10, and picking up about 7.5 on the play. How about Forsett having a career game? Forsett was on the practice squad, and remember, Edgerrin James was the backup running back on this team, and Forsett came along. Look at the Seahawks, 14 yards rushing, lowest in their history in week 6, 151 today. Truly a tale of 2 games. 2nd down and 3, and Forsett, nothing doing there, and a flag goes down. Loses a yard, in fact.
Offside, 92, defense, 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Big mistake for Ken Wisenhunt's team. That is the 8th penalty, and the 2nd time for Bertrand Berry. And it will be a first down.
And it's the 2nd time on this drive.
First down on the 12 of the Cardinals. Hasselbeck's pass. Houshmandzadeh can't hold on, or does he? Incomplete is the call. And another penalty flag is down in the end zone. TJ Houshmandzadeh looked like he had a chance on the deflection. And we'll see what the penalty is.
The pass is incomplete. Pass interference, 25. Defense, foul occurred in the end zone. We will place the ball at the 1-yard line. First down.
They got the matchup they wanted on this play. They had TJ Houshmandzadeh one-on-one in the slot right here with Bryant McFadden. And this is where he decided, Matt Hasselbeck, I'm going to him. Make it a 50-50 play, and I'm counting on my receiver.
He did not play the ball.
Second time today.
Yeah, never looked up at the ball, so it'll be 1st and goal at the 1 after pass interference against McFadden.
That happened to him on the go route from the goal line. That became a big play for TJ.
Forsett has Griffith as a blocker. Play action. Hasselbeck's pass incomplete. Trying to get it to Houshmandzadeh, who is covered by Adrian Wilson. 2nd and goal coming up.
That's well played by the Cardinals defense, focusing on their keys and not letting the misdirection action take them away from their coverage. And Adrian Wilson knocks it away as it gets to TJ Houshmandzadeh.
Big play by Wilson. 2 tight ends. 2nd and goal. Forsett. He's not going to dent the Cardinal defense there. May have lost a yard. Bringing up 3rd down and goal. A critical series and a lost shoe by one of the players, one of the Seahawks. And it's Justin Forsett. And I don't believe the way this game is that the Cardinals can settle for 3, or the Seahawks can settle for 3 here.
This is what you have to do in terms of going for the touchdown. I doubt you run it inside. And the Cardinals anticipated that, went out of goal line and went to nickel package.
The fade. And Burleson, who has yet to catch a pass, can't hold on to it, with Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie defending. And so it is 4th down, and the Cardinals with a big defensive stop here.
Seattle went to their best receiver, and he went up against the Cardinals' best man-to-man cover guy in the 2nd-year guy, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, whose long arms make a big play for the Cardinals.
So the Seahawks have to settle for 3. Orlando Mare with a 20-yard field goal attempt. He's kicked 1 today. Seahawks taking the 20-17 lead over the Cardinals. 91-yard drive, but it ended up in a field goal by Orlando Mare. So the lead is 3, and now the Cardinals get a chance on offense. But this is a struggle today. This is a terrific battle between these 2 NFC West foes. As Larod Stevens howling is back deep. Mare getting set to kick. Good kick. And the Cardinals will take it out at the 20. First down at the 20. Warner's numbers. Throws underneath. And the pass to Bolden. And it appears to be a first down. Seven different receivers have figured for Kurt Warner today. Bolden has caught 7 to lead the way. And Breston has caught a touchdown pass. First down, and Beanie Wells, who has run well, has a blocker in front of him. And it's Kreider, and a gain of 6 yards on first down for Beanie Wells, who has gained 37 yards in 11 carries today.
I'm watching the substitution patterns of the Cardinals on offense. Ken Wisenhunt, the head coach, calling the plays. Lots of different personnel groupings, mixing and matching. And a lot of the personnel groupings may be different, but you can run the same plays from them. Same plays, different looks.
Hey, Roger.
Bolden is back in the game. 6 defensive backs line up for Seattle. 2nd and 3. They fake the run. And the pass caught. Great catch by Anquan Bolden. And ridden out of bounds. And a flag goes down at the 23-yard line. Jordan Babineau defending on the play.
Watch Bolden running inside. This ball was thrown on the break.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, 27 defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, first down.
The strength of Anquan Bolden as they try and get him down. Jordan Babineau gets nailed with a horse collar, an additional 15 tacked on. But Anquan Bolden running in the seam, and Kurt Warner's timing such that the ball's gone from his hands before Bolden gets his head around. And then he picks off the pass, and takes it deep into the territory of Seattle.
So returning to the lineup, 8 catches, 105 yards. So a 37-yard pass play, and half the distance, 13 yards, so 50 in all. And the Cardinals knocking on the door. First down on the 13. Here is Wells up the middle. Wells, touchdown. Wow.
Hey, NFL, get ready. This young guy you have to deal with for a long time. Look at that run. Twisting, turning, power, and gets into the end zone.
13 yards, hard yards. His second touchdown of the day for Beanie Wells. Neil Rackers with the extra point. Good job, Ken Wisenhunt, to Anquan Bolden, who comes back. 8 catches, 105 yards. And Beanie Wells caps an 80-yard drive. They did it in a minute and 42 seconds. That's how fast they struck. Rackers kicking off. Lewis Rankin is deep. And instead it's going to be Ben Obamanu. And whatever it is, they'll start at the 20-yard line.
Watch here, you end up with 2 tight ends on this side because Steven Spock is 83 and 84 has been, right? And then look at the gap and the space that's created there. Look at Gandy, 69. And off to the races. And with power goes Beanie Wells because Anthony Beck, 84, helped out Steven Spock. Double tight ends on that side. And Beanie Wells is a smart young man. Running backs always thank their offensive line.
Yeah, take him out and get him some dinner. High fives are nice. First down at the 20. Justin Forsett, the running back. Hasselbeck wants to get yardage back quickly, and he has Houshmandzadeh, and it's a catch by Houshmandzadeh at the 37, and a gain of 17 yards.
See, what Seattle's done is they've gone back to mixing up their first down plays. They got pretty much into a rhythm of throwing on first down. Bill Davis caught on, blitzed the first down a couple of times. Houshmandzadeh with a catch, crowd reacting. They're thinking he didn't catch the football. They're saying he didn't get his feet down on the catch.
And this is going to be the second challenge of the game by Ken Wisenhunt.
Arizona is challenging the ruling on the field on a completed catch.
It appears that TJ Houshmandzadeh, knee and shin, both down right there before he gets to the white line. And for emphasis, the back foot drags also.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Completed catch. Arizona will be charged with their second team timeout, and that is all of their challenges.
So that's it. No more challenges for Ken Wisenhunt, and that will be a timeout charge to the Cardinals. Houshmandzadeh now with his 6th catch, 115 yards, 15th time in his career. All the others have been with the Cincinnati Bengals.
This will be much more satisfying for him. He was over 100 yards against Indianapolis, but as he told me, he said that was garbage time. Those were garbage time yards. I want them when the game's on the line, and he has that today.
Meanwhile, the Cardinals have only 1 timeout left, but they're leading by 4. First down at the 37 of Seattle. Hasselbeck's pass caught by Deion Branch, and the extra spin gives him a first down to their 49-yard line, gaining 12 on the play. The Arizona Cardinals coming in, trying to give themselves a 2-game lead, but really for Seattle, their season on the line, because a win today would bring them to within 1 game of Arizona in the lead. A loss would put them 3 back And of course, they would have lost twice, really dooming their season as far as winning the division. And we'll have a penalty against Seattle, 5 yards. Cardinals have won 4 out of 5 coming into this game and trying to keynote off their victory over the Bears on the road last week.
False start, 89, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
John Carlson, false start. First time these teams played, it was all Cardinals. They won 27-3. Seahawks playing like they're the desperate team today, but trailing by 4. First down and 15.
Let's see if they decide to go after him here on a first down pass.
4 receivers, 3 to the right. Pressure, and the pass, overthrowing Dion Butler, bringing up second down, and he had to get rid of it in a hurry. 2nd and 15. Hand off to Justin Forsett. And not much there. Picks up about 3.5 yards. Dockett making the play. 5 minutes going by in the 4th.
And Arizona not content to sit back on this series against the Seattle offense. Back-to-back plays. Pressure up the middle. This time, the second play, they went edge pressure. Now on 3rd and long, what will Bill Davis dial up?
They need 11 to the Seahawks. Remember, Burleson has yet to catch a pass. Pressure again on Hasselbeck, and this pass trying to go to Burleson, but off the mark. As Burleson trying to get away from the defender on an out pattern, so 4th down coming up and a kicking situation.
And that's Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie who actually impedes him. Right there, they're outside of the 5-yard bump zone as Rodgers-Cromartie actually bumps him coming across on the route and knocks him off of it and forces the incompletion.
Shutout so far is their leading receiver, Nate Burleson. Not shutout was Breston, who has caught a TD pass and is back to return the punt by Ryan. The fair catch on the 14. With 9:25 to go in the 4th, and the Cardinals up by 4. First and 10 for Kurt Warner. Going underneath on a check down to Beanie Wells. Good call. And Curry catches up with him, but not before a big gainer. Wells with 2 touchdowns today, rushing. And he gets 23 on the catch and run.
And we're seeing the growth of the rookie, Chris Beanie Wells. This is not what he was asked to do very often at Ohio State. He's not asked to pass protect much, not asked to catch the ball out of the backfield very much, and he's doing all of those things here with the Arizona Cardinals.
Cardinals have come alive in their last 5 drives for sure. First down on the 38. And Warner's pass, and it's caught by Fitzgerald. And he is out of bounds. Now his forward progress, I thought, gave him enough for the first down, Charles. They're not going to mark it that way. He'll be stopped short by a yard. Wilson on the coverage.
Watch where he catches the football, but I think he takes himself back on his own, Dick. See, he's able to make a move. And he ended up taking himself back, trying to get away from Josh Wilson. And that took him back behind the first down marker.
Good point. So it'll be 2nd and 1. 2 tight ends. Wells. And Babineau. And Wells giving it right back. And a gain of 28 yards. And Reggie Wells set Beanie Wells off to the big gain into Seahawk territory to the 24.
And this is the same set they ran the touchdown for Beanie Wells. He bent it back to the opposite side. And then look how he finishes the run. And they always say good runs means that wide receivers have done their job outside, and Larry Fitzgerald did exactly that.
79 yards for Wells. Pretty good average per carry, 2 touchdowns, and a first down at the 24 of the Seahawks. Hightower this time as Wells gets a breather. And Leroy Hill catches up with him after a gain of about 2. And this is where the Seattle defense, if they're to hang in there, needs to dig down deep and hold Arizona at worst to a field goal, making it a 1-touchdown game. There is plenty of time to go, but you don't want to see it expand here.
You're exactly right. The difficult job for the Seattle defense is figuring out when they can turn the pressure up because of the way Arizona's running the ball.
2nd down and 7, and they run it again with Hightower off the outside. And tap from behind, and Wilson coming up to make the play. Both teams have run the ball well today, and Josh Wilson, who was shaken up earlier, has come back. In fact, he came back pretty soon after he was hurt in the first half.
Very tough young man to be able to play the corner in this league at his size at 5'9", 192.
3rd and 4 now, Charles.
This gives Seattle the opportunity, if they want to put pressure on Kurt Warner, now's the time to do it.
They got 7 defensive backs. Huge play in this game. Warner caught by Fitzgerald. Touchdown, Cardinals. Second touchdown pass of the game for Kurt Warner. 14-yard touchdown, and Neil Rackers makes it a 31-20 game.
Beautiful back shoulder fade.
And the Cardinals going 85 yards with that terrific offense. Beanie Wells has been big today. All of the receivers and Fitzgerald there, and always it starts with Kurt Warner, who has now thrown 200 touchdown passes. There you see where he ranks of the undrafted quarterbacks, and he is the 5th fastest in NFL history to 200. Kickoff to Lewis Rankin. And Rankin carries it out just shy of the 20-yard line.
It's a 3rd and 4 play on the touchdown, and Seattle decided to bring pressure from a 3-man front, which means you're in man-to-man coverage on the corner. And when they throw the back shoulder fade, virtually impossible to stop. And Larry Fitzgerald, with his strength, gets a little nudge on Ken Lucas and carries it into the end zone.
So now it is a 2-score game. And the Seahawks have 6:06. First down for Hasselbeck, and he's going deep for the rookie from Penn State, Deion Butler, and playing it perfectly was Brian McFadden.
Now this is the one Brian McFadden will take away from this game and feel good about. Remember earlier in the game, TJ Houshmandzadeh couldn't locate the ball, big play. Later on, a pass interference called against Houshmandzadeh because he couldn't locate the ball. This time, tracks it, plays it perfectly.
2nd and 10. Hasselbeck getting a big rush from Clark Higgins. Has to get rid of it, and a flag is down at the 22. Let's say if there was a Cardinal receiver in the, or a Seahawk receiver in the area for Hasselbeck.
Ineligible downfield prior to the pass. Number 60, offense. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
Max Unger.
Now, he's a rookie out of Oregon. The college rule, you can get downfield on the screen pass if the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. In the NFL, you can't get downfield until the ball is thrown.
So now it's 3rd and 10. Burleson to the bottom of your picture. Still no catches today. Hasselbeck on 3rd and down, 10, and overthrows Branch. And Antrell Roll was back there, closest to the pass. So 4th down on the high throw by Hasselbeck, and the Seahawks will have to punt. Steve Breston will go back, and John Ryan will be kicking from about the 5. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And making the catch and going out of bounds is Breston. Out goes Hasselbeck, and in come the Cardinals. That was an 18-yard punt. And after being down by 2 touchdowns, they've outscored the Seahawks 31-6. Beanie Wells, who has 80 yards rushing, onto that play now with 82. And Arizona, I don't think they're going to change their style of play and just run the ball, do you?
No, I don't think so.
Seahawks call a time.
30-second timeout.
But running the ball serves its purpose because you know Seattle's going to have to burn some timeouts here.
How about Beanie Wells? 72 yards last week. That was his best of the year. Tops it with 82 yards. But look what he does per carry. 5.5, almost 6 yards. So Wells has added the running dimension to this team. And we said it earlier, and I think the Seahawks have really played an outstanding game, by the way. But you can't keep that Arizona offense quiet all day.
And that's the issue, because for the longest time, Seattle had it going exactly their way. Up 14-0, controlling the game from the offensive side. Defense was quicker to the football for a good portion of the ball game. But as quick as they do that, as quickly as they can turn it around, here come the Arizona Cardinals.
2nd and 8. And again, a couple of yards. And the Seahawks call their 2nd timeout.
Seattle, 30-second timeout.
So the Seattle Seahawks, who coming off a win against Detroit, been a rough year for them. 2 of their 3 wins have been by shutouts over opponents like the Rams and Jacksonville. But speaking of Jacksonville, they're now over 500 on the year.
5-4, big win today.
And the Cardinals, who after a start in which they lost 2 of their first 3 games, winning 4 of their next 5, got off to the slow start here, which is not the way they normally have winning efforts, but they have come on big.
And if they're able to lock this one down, they'll feel good about winning a game without playing the disrespect card.
And winning a home game.
Exactly.
3rd down and 5. Multiple receivers. And Warner being chased. Gets rid of it before the sack. Lawrence Jackson and a couple of his friends trying to charge from behind. So 4th down coming up, and Graham will kick it with 5:28 to go. And the Seahawks have only now 1 timeout remaining.
So in a sense, mission accomplished, because they're going to have field position on their side. Talking about the Arizona Cardinals. They forced Seattle to burn 2 timeouts already. Yes. And they're still up 11 points.
And the Seahawks needing 2 scores to pull this one out. Directional kicking is Graham. Couldn't do any better than that. Gets it inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 5. Starting from the 5, Matt Hasselbeck. Pass is caught by Deion Branch. And stopping the clock with 5:14 to go, a gain of 15 and a 1st down out to the 20.
Nice toughness and nice presence by Deion Branch, making the catch and being physical enough to get to the sideline and get out of bounds to conserve some time.
Pressure up the middle on Hasselbeck. And Houshmandzadeh, the intended receiver. I'll tell you, the Cardinals have put a lot of pressure on Hasselbeck. something that the Seahawks, by choice with a three-man rush, they've decided not to put the pressure on Warner, instead cover downfield.
And the pressure isn't necessarily showing up in just sacks. It's showing up in chipping away at the timing between Matt Hasselbeck and his receivers. He's throwing it about a half count too early, and TJ Houshmandzadeh not even able to get his head around and make the catch.
And look how things have slowed down passing-wise for Hasselbeck and the Seahawks in the second half. 2nd and 10, and they get it off, incomplete. Houshmandzadeh. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. And with 1 timeout left, the discussion would be, when do you get down to 2-down territory, even though the Seahawks are in their own area at the 20.
They've already used 2 timeouts and down 11. Frankly, I think they're in it.
Third and 10. Again, pressure. And going up on top. And a flag goes down. McFadden defending Deion Branch. And that will be a pass interference call against the Cardinals, and the Seahawks will get a life.
Pass interference, 25. Defense. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
So Brian McFadden at the hip of Deion Branch, has him right where he wants him, but right there impedes the progress of Branch getting downfield. And Matt Hasselbeck in the pocket.
Wow.
Takes a big hit on the safety blitz from Montrell Roll.
Well, no one's tougher than Matt Hasselbeck, that's for sure, but it's a first down on the Seahawk 45.
False start, 60. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's Max Unger, and it's the last thing the Seahawks need at this point, is a 5-yard penalty. There's the penalty story, and most of it has been charged to Arizona, but both teams over 100 yards in penalties today, and you rarely see that.
And most of the penalties that really hurt you are those pre-snap penalties that turn it into long distance.
1st and 15, they fake the run. Here is Branch. Branch has some room and gets into Cardinal territory and is short of the first down by about a yard. Roll makes the stop. And now the hurry up is in progress for the Seahawks. 2nd and 1 with under 4.5 to play in the 4th. Hasselbeck flips it to Forsett. He'll get the first down, and he'll want to go out of bounds, which he does, to stop the clock with 4:16 remaining. And once again, Seattle has 1 timeout left. They need 2 scores.
The number of screens that Seattle has run today, while not having been extremely successful, they've accomplished something. They've got this defense a little bit tired. Calais Campbell is coming off the field. Darnell Dockett has come off the field and asked out because of the amount of running you have to do to chase down screens.
And Alan Branch replaces him. 858 total offense yards. First down. Hasselbeck's pass in a crowd and nearly intercepted by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. There were several Cardinal defenders right around Nate Burleson, who is still looking to make his first catch of the day.
Look at that, 3 guys in the vicinity. Dansby 58, Rodgers-Cromartie, and Ralph Brown number 20. Seattle fortunate the ball fell to the ground incomplete.
2nd down and 10.
Rankin on the field next to Hasselbeck.
Rankin on the catch and does not get out of bounds. The clock does not stop as Carlos Dansby makes a timely tackle.
It's really good inside-out coverage by Dansby, the linebacker, chasing down the speedy Rankin.
3rd and 9. Flag is down, and the pass caught by Houshmandzadeh. It would be a first down, but a penalty flag thrown back at the 20. Walt Coleman's crew has called a lot of penalties this afternoon.
12 men on the field, defense, that penalty's declined. Play results in a first down.
See him trying to get off on the substitution change. Big Alan Branch, 78, 91, Kenny Awebama.
Ball is on the 25 of Arizona, first down. 3:46 on the clock. And going up is Houshmandzadeh, no catch. He was out of bounds at the 15. Second down coming up.
Nice physical play by Bryant McFadden, getting him out before he's able to get his foot down and keep himself in bounds. Remember, you don't give the benefit of the doubt if he catches you in the air and takes you out of bounds, and they could estimate you would have gotten your foot down. That's out. You have to get those feet down.
Forsett to the bottom of your picture on 2nd and 10. Hasselbeck intercepted. Antrell Roll. And he flips it to Ralph Brown. And Brown is taken down at the 35. The first turnover of this game. And it could seal the doom of the Seattle Seahawks.
Antrell Roll just playing a little bit of center field underneath, reading the eyes of Matt Hasselbeck and flowing to the football. There, you really don't want to give the ball up. Up 11, you've got it. There's no need for a lateral and a big play. The big play occurred on the interception. Go down to the ground, protect the football. Arizona able to get away with it. That's not the play they really wanted to make at the end, but what a terrific job by Antrell Roll with the interception. 4th
of the year to lead the club. And now Arizona in control of this game, leading 31-20, 3:31 to go. Beanie Wells doesn't get much, but it does not matter. And the Seahawks call their last timeout. They cannot stop the clock any longer.
Seattle, 30-second timeout.
Kurt Warner, for the 51st time in his career, going over 300 yards, tying Dan Fouts, the great Chargers quarterback, for 4th all time. 2nd down and 10. Wilson knocks down the pass intended for Fitzgerald, and that'll be 3rd down and 10. So the Arizona Cardinals, who came in 1-3 at home, and a thorough victory in Seattle 4 weeks ago, trailing 14-0, and coming back to tie the game at 17, only to see Seattle take the lead on a field goal. And that was an important play because the Seahawks really needed a touchdown looking at this way this offense comes about.
Anytime you're playing Arizona, 6s always much more preferable than 3s because of the pressure they put on you with their offense.
And a timeout called by the Cardinals. That's their 3rd and last timeout. And maybe a big play late in the game was on the 3rd and 4, where Seattle, looking to hold the Cardinals to a field goal that would have made it a 1-touchdown game. Warner hit Fitzgerald 18 yards for the score. And coming up for the Cardinals, road games at St. Louis and Tennessee, and they have 4 out of 5 of the next opponents losing opponents, with the exception of the Minnesota Vikings, who they play here.
And even though they were in the Super Bowl last year, many people are asking the question, is this an elite team in the NFL? I think today goes a long way towards answering that question, because they came in wondering themselves, when will we show consistency? We won a big game on the road at Chicago. This is the type of game in the past we would come home and lose. They didn't start out well, but they got it together. And even though they didn't play as well as they wanted to, it appears they'll leave here with a win today. That's big for them.
It'll be 5 out of 6. And a 2-game lead over the 49ers in the NFC West. Here's the pass out to Lerod Stevens-Howling. And Howling, with a flag down, is tackled at the 43. Deion Grant making the tackle.
Holding, 83. offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Steven Spock, the tight end, holding. 4th down, penalty decline.
I know many people are wondering, why did the Cardinals not run the ball on 2nd and 3rd down? You got Seattle out of timeouts. Instead, they come back and throw the ball on throw it 2 times.
And that's not their character, and that's not their identity. And now they've got to kick it to this man, Nate Burleson. You showed before how he is the only player with 3 90-yard punt returns for a score. They got to worry about this guy. On the 12, Burleson, and down he goes at the 26. And the clock shows 3:06 remaining.
See, now that Seattle's got 3:06 left and they get a 2-minute warning timeout. See, if you run the ball twice, there's significantly less time on the clock. So that's why people, well, you got them out of timeouts. Why are we throwing the football here?
And they threw a flag here.
See, I think it's just the nature of the Cardinals to attack.
I agree.
And that's what they do. That's what Ken Wesenhunt will always do.
Nate Burleson has been thrown to 5 times.
Sportsmanlike conduct. 97. Defense. 15-yard penalty.
Brian Robinson, normally you see the frustration on the other side in a game like this where Seattle needed it so much, had the lead, and then saw it go away. But the penalty is against Robinson, and he'll mark it off. But interesting, as we showed you on that graphic, Nate Burleson been thrown to 5 times, no catches today. Coming in as the leading receiver of this team. First down from the 41. Hasselbeck dumps it off to Justin Forsett. He'll have the first down to the 48 of Arizona with under 3 minutes on the clock.
Got to move if you're Seattle.
They need 2 scores, so they need to get a field goal or a touchdown and then make good on an onside kick. Here's Forsett and manages to get out of bounds, stopping the clock at 2:41.
Cardinals trying to continue to substitute on the defensive line. These guys are a little bit on the tired side, chasing around these runners all day for Seattle.
Well, this Seahawks team has battled from start to finish, and they don't think it's finished yet. 1st and 10. Hasselbeck is going deep for Butler and could not make the play. Covered by McFadden. 2nd down and 10.
The Cardinals are rolling in linebackers, defensive linemen, trying their best to find some fresh legs to rush the passer and cover.
Branch and Burleson lined up to the right. From the 38. And the pass caught by Houshmandzadeh down to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 4. Adams covering at a 34-yard gain. Remember, the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. It's a 2-score game. And no timeouts remaining. Hasselbeck with the fade. And Butler can't reach it. Welcome to viewers who saw the Packers.
74 offense, not lined up on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty.
Penalty called against the Seahawks in a furious finish here. Dick Stockton, Charles Davis, and Nichelle Turner. Penalty marker against the Seahawks, who need 2 scores here. They have no timeouts left. But they're on the 9-yard line of the Cardinals.
And the guy they like down here, besides Carlson, the tight end, is Houshmandzadeh. He's in the slot.
Here's Hasselbeck. Houshmandzadeh. And he is downed immediately by Antrell Roll, and we are down to the 2-minute warning. Cardinals have outscored Seattle 21-3 in the second half, and Kurt Warner with his 200th career touchdown pass. 2nd down and goal from the 4. They bobble it, and the flip is picked off by Adrian Wilson. Wilson. Hasselbeck could not control the snap. And remember, it was Chris Spencer who, with an injured thumb, had to snap with his left hand. And it was going to be problematic on shotgun plays. It certainly was there.
For most of the game, he had actually, I'm not sure how much that's on Chris Spencer and how much it just slipped through Matt Hasselbeck's hands. He didn't have to reach for it. He didn't have to dive for it. It went up a little bit on the high side, but it just got through his hands because I think he was anticipating catching it and then having to shuffle it off inside. And that little bit of, just taking his concentration away just a tad disrupted the play.
These two warriors of quarterbacks, Matt Hasselbeck, 34 years old, throwing for 325 yards, and Kurt Warner for 340. The Cardinals, with flags down, headed for their 5th win in 6 tries.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It started also well for the Seahawks today, leading 14-0. And in fact, up 17-10 at halftime. Before the Cardinals came back, tied it up. Seahawks briefly took a 3-point lead. And then the defense clamped down in the second half against Seattle. And Beanie Wells, the rookie running back, with 2 touchdowns today. 85 yards. Anquan Bolden came back into action after missing a week. Caught 8 passes for 105. And Nate Burleson shut out. The leading receiver for Seattle never caught a pass.
I think that we saw great character from 2 squads today.
And a huge win. They'll open up a 2-game lead in the NFC West. And for the Seahawks, they now fall 3 games back and have lost twice to the first-place Arizona Cardinals. Today's game being produced by Pete Macheska, directed by Artie Kempner, the Associate Director, Fran Morrison, Technical Producer, Marvin Kale, and the Technical Director, John Howard. Audio Mixer, Jeff Cohen. The Broadcast Associate is Yvonne Wagoner. In Los Angeles, our thanks to Scott Ackerson, Bob Levy, Stephanie Medina, Janice Kazaza, Jack Simmons, and Jerry Steinberg. The Senior Producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. And the Executive Producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And our thanks to our spotter, Chris Visser, our statistician, Rick Odioso. Cheers go up as the Cardinals have defeated the Seahawks to go 6-3 on the year.